Hi, I'm Your Gamer and welcome to Gold Rush the game. Now I wanted to get this video out to you quickly, okay? Basically because a lot of people have been struggling and the game is quite difficult to get started with, but I think I've cracked it. Now obviously there are going to be different ways of getting started, but this is the way that I found out the best. So let's jump in and I'll run you through it. I've got a whole list of things that you need to buy and what you need to do to get yourself up and running. What you really need to do is ignore the first tier. That if you follow the first tier of mining, it's going to take you a long time. I mean, I netted about $145 from about an hour's panning and work, and it is a hell of a grind as well. Right, so the first thing you want to do when you get into the game, if you haven't even played it at all, is you want to turn around and get in your van. I started walking towards town when I first started playing, and then I looked around and there's my truck. Right, so you want to jump into your truck, X to start, space to take your handbrake off, and the Q button does your diff lock. You're going to want the diff lock when you're off of tarmac, because otherwise the truck just flies around all over the place. Right, so the first place you want to go is down to the bank. Right. Now the truck does have a battery, alright, so what you don't want to do is leave your lights on. If you leave your lights on, you're going to flatten your battery and you've got a long walk back to town to get yourself a new battery. So make sure you do that. Right, so you will get hooked up on a lot of the assets in the game, unfortunately. It needs a bit of optimization. Right, so first thing you want to do is go here, is to the bank. And you want to rent the old Arnold parcel. Now this has got it's $25,000 to buy it, which is a hell of a lot of money, and it'll take you a long time to get that. But what you want to do is rent it. Okay. Now I'm not sure what the it does say he rents his claim almost for free. I don't know yet exactly, because I had a massive loan when I first started out to get myself started and learn how to play the game. So I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's fairly low. Right, next thing you want to do is go to loans. You want to borrow $1,000. But before you do this, if you take a loan out right now, you've got to pay back the entire loan within 1 day. That's about an ounce of gold, which is really difficult. So what you can do is increase this. You will net about an ounce of gold, but it varies, and that takes a lot of work. So what I would suggest, just spread it out. It doesn't matter, because you can take another loan if you want, I believe. So just spread it out. 60 installments, 60 days. What you could do is just spread it over 30 days. It's nothing really. It's 37. That is about 0.03 of an ounce. You'll get that in one pan a day. So that's fine. So take out your loan. Right, next thing you want to do is you want to get back in your truck. X to start your engine. Space to take your handbrake off. You want to turn around. And you want to go to this shop here. Now the driving of the truck is very awkward. It's not very good. Right, remember, engine off, handbrake off. Right. I will put a list on the screen of everything you need to buy. But here's what you need to buy. You need to buy the panning system at $15. You want one of those. You want to buy the gold pan. One of those. You want 4 buckets. Now this storage slots is basically the storage outside. The storage slots will fill up, and what you have to do is go and buy your stuff, load it into your truck, then you can come back in and buy some more. So you want 4 buckets. You want 1 jerry can. You want 1 water hose thin. You want 1 water hose fat. You want to come back over here and you want to get a filter. For some reason the filters are free. The water filters are free, I don't know, but you want one of those. Then you want to come over here. You need 4 of these hog pan mats. Now I'm full up, you see, so I'm gonna leave the hog pan mat. I'm gonna go and pay for that lot, and then we've got to go outside, and here's where all your stuff will be. See what I mean about getting hooked up on stuff? Right, so open the back of your truck and start chucking this stuff in. This takes a while. Like I said, you get hooked up on everything. Right, so I'll load this stuff up and I'll come back to you in a moment. Okay, so that's everything loaded up into the truck. Now we go back in and we buy some more stuff. Now what we need is 4 of these hog pan mats. You want to get the hog pan with pump. 1 of those. You want to get the hog pan sluice box core. 1 of those. You want to get the hog pan sluice box extension. Yeah, now I'm stuck again. I can't buy any more. Right, don't buy that. This whole system is so annoying that you can't buy everything you need in one go. Right, so there's the sluice pan. Getting this in is a nightmare, especially when you've already got other stuff in there. You may have to do this in 2 runs. It depends how well you get everything loaded into your truck. I've not lost anything yet. Yeah, on the drive. We've still got 2 rather large pieces to get in the back here. Right, so that's that. Then we come back in. We want to buy the sluice pan extension. And you want the water pump, small water pump. Now I believe that is everything. Panning system, buckets, jerry can full, hog pan, sluice pan. Yep, that is everything. And you're left with about 414. Right, let's see if we can get this in. This is awful. You can't actually see where you're going as you're trying to. Yeah, that's not going to shut. Then you get hooked up and stuck completely. Oh, come on. Right, now we just need to get the pump in there. Should be able to dump that over the back there. Right, fingers crossed that won't fall out. Right, now we need to drive. Oh God! Now we need to drive over to our parcel. So X to start the car, space to take off your handbrake. I said I've not lost anything out the back yet, but I would drive particularly carefully. Right, now you want to go up here, turn left out of here, and you want to turn. Oh no, sorry. Oh, and I've buried my bloody fuel can, haven't I? I meant to put the fuel can in last. I'm just going to go and buy another fuel can because I'm not unloading everything to. Oop. I'm not unloading everything just to get a fuel can. Because you've got to go and buy the fuel now. So I'll just get another fuel can, it's not a problem. So make sure you put your fuel can in at the back of the truck. Right, so that's dropped in there. Right, now we've got to go and get the fuel. So you want to go out of here and down here. Now if you get a warning flash up saying it's advisable to turn your diff lock off when you're on asphalt or whatever, press Q to turn that on and off. believe me, ugh, it makes it a lot easier. Right, you want to just go to the end here and park up. Now you get your fuel can back out. Where's it gone? Where's my fuel can gone? Oh, there it is. It's underneath. So there's me about saying stuff doesn't fall out. Right, so just drop that down. Go here, grab that, and then get it over the marker. And then just fill that right up. That will cost you about $40. You don't have to go and pay for the fuel, it automatically pays for it. Right, now hopefully that everything is still in there. Right, now you want to go back up this way. You see the skid marks on the road where I've skidded. Basically, if you're playing with a keyboard, you can't help but skid, really. Right, you want to turn right here and go straight across. As I said, at this point, press Q to turn on your diff lock because it will make the truck a lot more stable. Now, you don't want to go belting along because it does have a habit of just bouncing around and you'll go flying off into whatever. So just take your time. You don't want to lose stuff out the back. If you do get there and you have anything has bounced out the back, you pretty much know where it is. It's going to be along this road somewhere, so you just drive back and find it. Worst case scenario, you've got to go and buy it again, but you still got $300, $363 left. Now you do start off with a bit of gold, 0.04 of an ounce, which is going to be about $40, something like that, I think. So it's really not going to. There's no point going through the rigmarole of going to the blacksmiths and selling it. See, because I'm on tarmac, you see, they should disable the lift lock when you're on asphalt, but just take your time along here and it'll be fine. Right, so you want to get to the end here, go around here. Now this is where the diff lock really comes in up the hill here, because it really helps keep your traction going. As I said, just take your time. Right, this is a bit of a nightmare. That rock on the side, you can get hooked up on that extremely easily, so just be careful of those. And you want to go the left-hand side of that bush, because that trying to drive through those fences is a nightmare. And you want to pull up right where that arrow sign is, right about there. Remember, handbrake on, make sure your lights are off if you turned them on. Right, now we have the fun of unloading everything. Right, so take your fuel over, and you can only carry one thing at a time. You want to bring it over to this here, where this is set up here. So drop the fuel can over by the tree so you know where it is. You want to bring the pump over. Now the pump has certain inputs and outputs. So you've got an output there. What we're going to be using is that large input there and that small output there. So you want to turn it around so it's like that. And pop it about there. That's absolutely perfect. Alright. Then we take your sluice box. Now when you come over here you should... Oh no, we haven't. You've got to put the sluice tray down first. So we want that one. And then everything jumps out. Right, so when you bring the first section, not the extension section, the first section over, you should see that yellow outline appear. And then when you mouse over, it appears. So press E to place that down. And then you take your sluice box, and then your yellow outline should appear there. So that's that. Then you get your extension piece. And pop that on the end there. Okay. Right, all your buckets are going to have to be brought over. Your panning pan, put it up by your fire, and I'll explain why in a minute. your small hose. You want to grab it, and you see where you got the yellow output there. You want to click E on there. That will connect it up. Now wherever you walk with it like this, it will lay the hose. Alright, so you want to keep it as neat as possible. You see how it's snapped onto the floor there and snapped there, and then you want to E onto the back of the sluice box there. Okay, so that's laid the hose out lovely. We'll do the fuel in a minute. The big pan you want to fill up with water by taking it down, and you see how the edges of the stream go yellow as I move up and down. So then press E to fill it up with water. Then you also want to put this up there. I said I'll explain why you want it by the fire in a moment. Right. Getting in the back of that is a nightmare. You've got to jump slightly. You can't jump when you're right next to it. See how the truck was? The truck wheel was... Where did my hose go? Oh, there it is. Right, now you want to take your big hose. That goes onto the output there. And then you want to bring it down to here. And then just lay it in the water like that. Okay? Then you want your filter. And you want to attach the filter to the end. You see how it appears there? Okay? I think I've lost one of my miner's mats. Yeah, I think I've lost one of my miner's mats. Unless it's over the back. Now all of your buckets need to be over here. That is incredibly annoying trying to get into the back of that pickup truck. You just get hooked up on that yeah, see? You can't jump right next to it because then you close the back lid. You've got to jump just before you reach it. I'm wondering if that other mat is underneath the truck. It might have clipped through. I hope it has, otherwise I've got to drive all the way back to town and get another one. I can't see it anywhere. I'll move the truck in a minute and see if it's underneath. I think I see it there. No. Right, so you take these mats and you want to bring them over here, and you see the yellow outlines. You want to put them in there, and there'll be, should be 4 of them in total, but we've obviously lost one. This game does like pixel perfect positioning of the mouse. It will drive you insane. Yeah, I don't know where that other mat's gone. Lying around here anywhere. Oh, I can see. Right, I'll just nip back to town, get another mat, and I'll be back in a moment. And there's the mat. Fell out the back of the truck. Right. Back to camp. I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so back at the camp. And look at that, it's still standing upright. Absolutely outstanding. Right. Okay. So we'll put the last mat in there. Now you've got this display up here. That is how much dirt is actually in the hopper at the top. And these are the saturations of the mats. Alright, and they will grow in a percentage. The percentage will go up. and that is how much pay dirt or finings is actually in the mat. Right, so next thing we need to do is the fuel. So you grab your fuel can and E, and that will fill up the tank. You will get about 3 tankfuls out of each jerry can, and it will take about 20% of your fuel to fill those mats up fully if you keep on shoveling, right? Because that is the difficult bit. Right, so now what we need to do is start the engine. Right, now you come around here, that little switch there is to stop it, and that pull cord is to start it. So give it a pull, and the water starts flowing. All right, now we need to shovel. This is the grindy bit. It is extremely grindy. All right, so you use the left and right arrow keys, the period and comma keys, and you bring up your shovel. You want to stand about here, left mouse button to pull it, and then shovel it in there. Now you see the percentage bars that have appeared. You shovel, pour it in. So you're looking at about 200 shovelfuls, because I think it's about 2 shovels per percent. No, it might be 3 shovels per percent. Okay, 4 shovels per percent. Yeah, so you're looking at about 400 shovelfuls to saturate those mats entirely. And that will net you about an ounce of gold, which is about 1,000. Alright, so I will do this, and I'll come back later. Now, if you don't do it this way, if you do it the way the book tells you to do it in the help, basically you have 2 mats, you have the non-pump hopper, and what you have to do is you have to shovel fill the hopper right up, and then you have to get buckets of water from the spring and pour them in the top. And it takes about 10 shovels to fill the hopper up and about 4 buckets to empty it. Now, as you can see here, as I'm doing this, you'll see twinkles going down, and that's the gold appearing in the moss mat, in the mat. So I'm about 11%, so I'll keep going, I'll get to 100% and then come back to you. Okay, I'm about 20% at the moment, and you can see the amount of dirt that I've had to shovel. Now you can only shovel in this area here. You can see the different dirt. Alright? It's best just to stand in one spot rather than keep moving around, and just keep digging until you can't dig anymore. Even though it doesn't look like there's any dirt there, there is still dirt there. Alright, so just keep going. Now I'm nearly 50% of the way through, and it's getting quite dark now. It's about 9:15 at night. What you can do is you can skip, if you don't want to borrow the money, if you want to do it all from scratch, you can just go and buy yourself a bucket, a panning system and a gold pan, and you can jump straight to the panning phase, which I'll show you in a moment. So if you don't want to borrow the money, you can go straight to that, but it will take a long time to build up money. Now at this stage, if you don't want to work in the dark, you could go and buy yourself some work lights if you can afford it, or you can go and sleep and wait till the morning. And you do that up there, behind that tent there's a caravan. You go to the door of the caravan and you've got the option to sleep. But I'm going to keep on working through in the dark, so I can get this done for you. I think you can press L and you've got a little torch, which makes things a bit easier. Right, it's now about midnight, just gone midnight. I've been shoveling for about 12 in-game hours, and I'm nearly at 100%. Could be another shovel or two. One more. There we go. Right, they're 100%. So next thing you want to do, you want to turn your engine off. You've got to you've got to go back to your hand and then press that button. Okay, now I'm just going, the wind's picked up, it's a hell of a storm, and I'm going to go and get some sleep before we start dealing with the next bit. So you want to come over to this caravan, click on the door, and I'm going to sleep till dawn. Okay, so it's about 6 AM, the wind's still whipping, fire's still burning. You don't have to put fuel on the fire. Now you can see here the amount that I've had to shovel out. That is just one load's worth. Right, next thing we want to do is the buckets. So you want to go here until take your bucket until the stream goes yellow and fill your bucket up. How did that one end up over there? And you want to fill all your buckets up. Right, now you want to take your the moss mat, the gold matting, take that and it puts into a ball, and you can see these yellow marks above the buckets. Now what you want to do is you move it so it highlights and then press E. Now that will dunk twice. You want to dunk it again, and dunk it again. Now that is that bucket full. Then come back here, take the next one and repeat. Now I don't know if there's any benefit to either just doing it once or doing it 4 times. We'll have a look and see what we get from the mats. I think this bucket will just dunk once. No, we'll dunk twice. So we'll do 2 mats in 1 bucket. Right. Now what you want to do is grab your buckets and take them over to your fireplace. Now you'll see why I do this by the fire. It's simply for the light. So that was the so they were the ones where it was a single mat per bucket. And pop those down next to each other. So I mean, you get hooked up on all the fences and everything. It's awful. And this is the 2 mats per bucket. And see if we get anything different. I'll pop that one there. Right, so now what you want to do is you take your bucket and you see the bucket icon that appears above the pan. You want to tip the bucket into the pan. You'll get about 4 pans per bucket. Then you want to pick your pan up and you come over to your panning tank and you move it to your highlight there and press E. Now you've got to be moving very gently. Alright, you move the mouse too quickly and you're going to throw your rocks, you're going to throw your findings everywhere. Left mouse button to dunk into the water and right mouse button to pull it back out. Then you want to turn it ever so slightly and you can use your WSAD keys to tilt the pan. Now what you need to do is just agitate, circulating the mouse ever so carefully. Alright, and you can see the large chunks you don't want, it's those little chunks. Alright. Now you need to tilt the pan away from you and just pour that water out. When the water's gone, you get some more water. And you keep repeating that until the water doesn't go to a tan, dirty colour anymore. Alright, you just gently agitate it and pour it away. Straighten your pan up again, more water. Now as you can see, it's not going quite so dirty anymore. So we're almost there. Right. Now you've got an option here. We need to roll the pan around so we can see the little gold pieces. Alright. Now what you can do is you can tip out some of the larger pieces, but you've got to be careful that you don't allow the smaller pieces out. Getting rid of some of those larger pieces will help you get the smaller pieces. All right. Now what I have found is easier is right click and pull towards you and pull the pan towards you. Then what you want to do is tilt the pan away and then tilt it back to you. And what you want to do is you want to get those smaller pieces, small chunks of gold, you want to get them stuck on those ridges around the pan. Then once you're down to how you want it, you press the shift key and this moves into gold pick mode. You can still tilt the pan around, alright, but you have a cursor now. And what you want to do is you want to tilt the pan around, and it's like a mini game. You've got to click. I just keep clicking and it will pick up the gold, you see. I just keep on clicking and you hoover that gold out. And the closer the pan is to you, the bigger the pan, the easier this is, because the gold is a lot bigger. So the idea is to try and get it caught on the edges of those ridges, but it's not always that easy. There we go. Right, so we got about 0.1 of an ounce per pan. So going by that, if we get 4 pans per bucket, that will be 0.4 ounces per bucket. Now that was from a bucket where we washed 1 mat per bucket. So what you want to do is when you're done, when you've got all the little gold pieces, just tip the pan up and get rid of all those. Okay, right, so that was 1.1. Let's try the bucket where we mix 2 in. So this is 2 mats per bucket. Let's see what our gold is any different. Right, so again, dunk and just gently agitate. So we've got 0.14 at the moment. Right, so it's right click and bring it up close to you like that, and then shift. So as I say, it's like a mini game basically. Somebody may have a better way of doing this. Okay, so we started off with 0.4 and we got 0.17. So yeah, there doesn't seem to be. So if we've got 0.17 per bucket per pan, let's have a quick calculate on that. 0.17 times 4, we're going to get 0.68 out of a bucket compared to the 0.4. So it really doesn't make any difference. It probably it'll give you more gold per pan, but it doesn't net you any more gold. So it'll probably be overall easier to do rinse 2 mats per bucket, if that makes sense. Alright, I'm going to pan the rest of this and see how much we end up with, and I'll come back to you. I'll just run you through another panning. So just take the pan, roll it around with the mouse, tip it, get rid of the water. Another load of water, tip it, get rid of the water. Rinse and repeat until the water stays clear. So if you're careful, you can get rid of some of the rocks, which makes picking a lot easier. I seem to have a bit stuck on the end of my... Right, so I'll pan the rest of this and come back to you. Right, I've just been panning and I got this. I've never seen anything like it. It's the biggest gold nugget I've seen in 40 years of my miner experience. I hope it's not just beginner's luck and you use it wisely. To stop shoveling and start using proper machines. Check what you need to run the mobile wash plant, and don't forget about the excavator. Even the smaller one should be enough for you. Arnold. So I don't know how much we just got. Wow, we got 40 ounces. I don't know if you get that after a certain amount of panning. Don't know, but it's obviously a way of boosting you forward. So that's about $4,000 we got there. So I'll carry on and we'll see how much we end up with. Okay, so that's all my gold panned, and we end up with 40.52 ounces. Now we got that additional bonus. I think without that additional bonus, the large nugget, I think we would have got about an ounce of gold, which is about 1,000. But we got about 4,000, 4,500. No, 4,000. 4,050. Yeah? No? I think we got 40,000, haven't we? Anyway, let's go along to the blacksmith and see what we got. That will tell us exactly how much we've scored. Alright, now we're near at the town. To go to the blacksmith, you want to turn right at the railway, down Old Railway Road, and keep bearing to the right, keep going down here. And when you come to the main road, remember to turn your diff lock off and turn right over the railway tracks and go back to where we started. And then you want to pull in here. Now, at the blacksmith, you either have the choice of smelting your gold into bars or selling it instantly. Now, there is a charge of smelting and there's a charge for selling. So if you smelt it and then sell it, you've got two charges. But by smelting the gold, you have the opportunity to hold the gold until the price increases. So let's have a look. If we sell, yeah, we're going to get 40 grand, just short of 40 grand if we sell it now. If we smelt the gold, it will cost us 405, so we'll get about 39. So we were netting about 39,500. We'll net about 39, but it will take nearly 7 hours to do, and we'll lose 3 ounces in loss. So there's a smelting price per ounce, smelting time per ounce, loss of gold, smelted gold total. So I'm just going to sell it and get the money. So we'll sell that. And that's it. Right, so thanks so much for watching. I hope that's helped you get a kickstart. I will do an extra feature a couple of days about advanced mining with the excavator and get some of that big equipment up there now. Now that we've done the little stuff, we're going to move on to the big stuff. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that was useful to you. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Enables notifications with a little bell icon to make sure you get informed of new videos that I put out. Or you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at miserable_gamer, and Facebook is /miserablegamer, all one word. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think of my method. You know, is there any way I can improve that? Is there any better ways of doing things? Or just say hi. It'd be great to hear from you guys. So once again, thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.